Good evening, I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Gambling investigations at Iowa and Iowa State have now resulted in criminal charges filed against 7 current or former athletes, including the recent Nebraska men's basketball point guard transfer, Aaron Eulis. Fred Hoiberg, who is currently with the team in Spain, addressed the media following their game this afternoon.
We've been working with compliance on this since we were made aware of a possible eligibility issue with him. We were not aware of this issue at the time we were recruiting him in the transfer portal this spring. We weren't certain where the eligibility question would end up. We just focused on the basketball end of things this summer. We had no knowledge of any possible legal charges until I was made of it just before tonight's game.
Eulis is currently with the team on their international trip, but has not played in either of their 2 contests. Speaking of Husker men's basketball today, they posted an 86-83 win over Valencia All-Stars a few hours ago. Major contributions came by the way of Eli Rice, who tallied a game-high 20 points, including 3 crucial free throws in the final 25 seconds. 4 other Huskers joined Rice in double figures. C.J. Wilcher finished with 19 and 8 rebounds. Bryce Williams added 16. Redshirt freshman Cale Jacobson had 12. And Jamarcus Lawrence finished with 10. And turning towards Husker football, junior punter Brian Buschini was one of the 50 nationally named to the preseason watch list for the 2023 Ray Guy Award. The award is presented to the nation's best collegiate punter in the FBS, and Buschini has made that watch list now for the 2nd year in a row. And more headlines broke within the football team as defensive back Miles Farmer has entered the transfer portal today after receiving a suspension from Matt Rule for the start of preseason practice. Rule did not disclose the reason for Farmer's suspension, other than to say it had to do with a failure to adhere to team standards. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for the in the air. Marquise Buford makes the pick. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, a Wednesday night hump day edition of Sports Nightly. And so those of you that are pining to hear the joke of the week, you have one more day to wait for the joke of the week. So, but you've got us tonight, kind of a Hall of Fame night. We're going to hear from Kyle Vandenbosch, who's going into the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame, and Tolly Thompson, who's the last athlete coach that's going into the Nebraska Athletics Hall of Fame. We've yet to talk to this summer. We'll talk to Tolly coming up in hour number 2. So Hall of Fame night.
All of those interviews have been so good, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just so fun to listen, and especially for someone that wasn't here, and it's hard to just get all the history in if you're not embedded in it and to learn so much about it. And they've all been so charismatic and fun to listen to. It's been
Lori
a great
Endicott,
series.
I think, might be my favorite. She was a volleyball player from the 80s. She was just bubbly beyond bubbly.
Oh, she was. And the gymnast.
She was good. Emily Parsons.
Yeah. So it's been a fun series. So and again, we have all those on our podcast platforms if you missed any of them. But it's just fun to go back and listen to them tell their stories and revisit some of those, because there's a reason why they're going into the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
And it's not just their athletic achievements, which are all tremendous, but also the kind of student athlete they were while they were here too.
Tolly won an NCAA championship of the heavyweight division for wrestling in '95. So certainly deserving of that honor. Tough day. Cole ran it down for you in the ticker. But let's start with Miles Farmer. Not surprised, kind of was waiting for it, Jessica, after the announcement from Matt Rule on Monday that he had been suspended from the team, wasn't part of the 120. I spoke to a group earlier this morning, a Husker group this morning, and told them, I said, I've kind of been hitting refresh on my phone for 2 days, waiting to see Miles go into the portal. You and I talked about it the other night when it came out that he was suspended, that we like Miles as a person, like him. It just didn't work, and I wish him nothing but the best, so I'm not surprised by that news today.
I'm not either, and, I'm kind of surprised it wasn't sooner, but I do think he, give him some kudos for trying it out with this staff and seeing if it could be a fit, because I know he loves Nebraska, he graduated, he got his degree, but, again, it's not what he signed up to play football for when he was coming out of high school, and this is the kind of reason, and not saying the suspension, not disregarding that, but the reason why the transfer portal, I think, was put into existence for guys that are recruited and want to play for a certain staff, and then a new staff comes in and it's not quite a fit. And, I know he tried really hard. I don't know if it was, it just didn't mesh well. It just is completely different. I think it's fair to say that Travis Fisher and Evan Cooper are two completely different coaches, yep. Right? And so, but I go back to what I said the other night too. As much as I really enjoyed Miles, he was one of the first athletes that was really nice and welcoming to me when I got here. But that's a position that you can afford to lose a body or two. Right. They are loaded at defensive backs. I know it was going to be a battle anyways, and he was going to have to fight for his job, even though he's played a lot of football here. He was going to have to go earn it back again and throughout fall camp. And so I know that they feel good about the depth back there at safety, and you get Marquise Buford back at some point, and, he obviously proved to be a solid contributor a year ago. So, it's disappointing. You never want to lose a guy with that much experience, but it's also a position that I feel like you can afford to lose a body or two. And honestly, I'm surprised that there weren't more that left that position group.
I thought we would see more after spring.
Yes.
I really did. Too. And maybe we still see more between now and Minnesota. We could. A couple guys could still decide they don't like where they are in the depth chart or whatever the case may be. So don't just say, and don't freak out when you hear this. This is kind of part of it. When you roll a staff over, you're going to have attrition. I wish Miles nothing but the best. I hope he lands somewhere where he can play and be happy and finish his college career, and hope he gets his degree in the meantime as well. He
did. He graduated.
That's right, he did.
He's already got his degree.
Good for him.
So he graduated. He's got a UNL degree, and he tried it out. This coaching staff gave him an opportunity to try it out, which, again, I think for both, you and I talked about this from the start. We were surprised back in December there weren't more players enter the portal. We were surprised after spring ball there weren't more players enter the portal. And, for the coaching staff to give everybody the kind of opportunity, hey, let's see how it works. We want to coach you, want to give you a chance to play here. Unlike some coaches that come in and don't give you that kind of opportunity, that was given to these players that were here, that were a part of this roster. Let's see if it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. We don't know why that suspension was handed down. We're not going to speculate on that, but again, the standards are very high, the expectations are high, and just because you are a starter for 2 years and a contributor for 3 years doesn't mean you don't have to live up to those same standards and expectations. Everybody is on that same level. I said this the other day, from, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, walk on, starting quarterback, support staff, everybody has the same expectations, the same standards. That's what happens when you sign up to be a part and work for this program or play for this program. You know what the expectations are and the standards are, and they are for every single person that's involved in that program.
The other story deals with the gambling situation that we've been hearing about for several months from the state of Iowa. We talked about it last night with the backup quarterback at Iowa State, Hunter Deckers. Gambling investigations have been taking place in the Hawkeye State for several months. Iowa's baseball team got hit with this in the spring, some athletes that were doing some gambling, and now this one has hit close to home with Aaron Eulis, who was a transfer to Fred Hoiberg's program back in April, decided to leave the Hawkeyes and come to Nebraska. Eulis, who is accused, again, this is just accusation. He's not been convicted, but he's been accused of placing online wagers on a FanDuel account. That's one of those betting websites that have popped up in the last 10, 15 years. It's been set up under his brother's name. According to the allegations that were released today by the Iowa investigation, Ulis did some of this before he turned 21, between February of 2021 through December of 2022, used his phone, made 1,850 wagers totaling over $34,000, with at least one placed on an Iowa sporting event and over 430 placed on NCAA basketball and football games. Again, these are the allegations, not been proven in a court, but these are pretty serious. And so Aaron is with the Husker team in Spain. He did not play in either of the two exhibition games, will not play in the third one. And now his eligibility is very much up in the air from where he goes from there. And Cole played you the clip from Fred Hoiberg. We got a couple more we'll play for you here in a minute. I don't think Nebraska was aware of this when they were recruiting him in March and April. I think they became aware of it in the last couple of months, and they have been cooperating through their compliance office with this investigation going on. Jessica, I think this is prevalent throughout college sports. I don't know for a fact, but I would lean toward that it's probably happening with Husker athletes as well. They do online, they do classes and education skills to tell these young people not to do this, but it's kind of part of our culture right now. And I think, boy, if they go wide sweeping across the country, we may see thousands of athletes that get disciplined because of this.
Well, and how many ads do you see throughout sporting events? Like, they've got sponsored elements like FanDuel,
DraftKings.
I mean, it's crazy how much it's incorporated within broadcast, whether that be, I mean, even in college, right? Even on college broadcast, you're seeing that throughout the NCAA tournament, but yet it is an absolute no-no. It's a big-time no-no. Let me ask you this, though, because I have never done FanDuel or DraftKings.
I'm here.
But in Iowa, it's legal. Remember when that story first came out, it was both Iowa and Iowa State. There were a ton of players from a lot of different sports. They didn't name names that were involved, but in the state of Iowa, it's legal, right?
And it is now in Nebraska.
Okay, but
as of about 3 months ago.
Okay.
You can start betting on sporting events here now.
So do you think that, I mean, how many states is it legal now? I mean,
I'd have to do some deep dive.
I guess what I'm getting at is, do you think the problem is because it was legal in Iowa, and whether you can claim ignorance or not, like, to me, that's on your compliance department to make sure that, hey, even though this is legal in our state, you cannot do that. It's kind of the same thing, I think, with a little bit with marijuana, right? I mean, there are states that it's legal.
Up to a certain amount.
But with NCAA, it's still...
Correct.
You cannot... It's absolutely still illegal. But that's what I'm getting at is I wonder if these student athletes, they still have to, I mean, I'm not by any means questioning their compliance department. I'm assuming that because we get the education, it is hammered home. You cannot bet on college athletics. You cannot bet, you cannot gamble, and especially on your own school's teams.
Right.
But I guess that's where I'm thinking once it got passed and was legal in Iowa, if all of a sudden all these student athletes, because that was the big storyline, was all these athletes from Iowa and Iowa State.
Right.
And that's the big story that we've heard so far, even though we know that it's prevalent. But of all the states that have, gambling, the big story has been in Iowa.
I got the answers to some of your questions. Vermont passed a law to allow sports betting back in June. That makes 37 states where it's legal, but only 33 have got it going. So 4 states don't have it up and running yet. Nebraska, again, just a few months ago, made it legal to do that. Mobile sports betting is legal in 28 states at this point in time. So it's on the rise. It doesn't cover all 50 states, but we're getting closer to that. That's why I am scared to death that this is going on all over the place. But right now the focus is just on the state of Iowa and those athletes, and now Nebraska's caught up in it because of Aaron Ulis. And
again, it's one of those things that just because you could say, oh, my brother placed the bets, but they were obviously doing an investigation. If things were triggered, kind of with the Alabama coach and all of that, if something was triggered, then you do this deep dive. If it's connected to your phone, anything like that. I mean, it's just with the digital imprint that exists nowadays, it's just really hard to get away with that and try to hide it and just say, oh, it wasn't me or whatever.
And these, particularly men's basketball, a lot of them have NIL deals, so they've got some spending cash to do some of the stuff that adults can do, because now they're not just poor college kids anymore that are, trying to save enough bucks to order pizza late at night. Now they actually have some money to go do some of this. So,
and again, it's in your face everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And
you can't watch a pro sport without it popping up with the DraftKings or something popping up.
There are so many things, so many elements. I mean, even in College Game Day, there's the one guy, the Bear, has like over-unders and who you're going to take and who you're going to bet on.
Sure.
Which is a sponsored segment.
Yeah.
And it's almost every single pregame show. It's just such a big part, and it's really taken off. I mean, you could always gamble, I guess, at Vegas at the sports book or casinos, but certain casinos. But to make it legal, it started, in New Jersey recently, and then we've seen kind of a domino effect that now it's just more prevalent. And I don't know, again, I think it's probably something where we haven't caught up to that as fast as it kind of took off like wildfire.
It's probably, I don't think I'm going out on a limb here, it's probably way more prevalent in male athletes than female athletes. I don't know that the females get into gambling as guys do. I mean, I grew up was in a fraternity, and we had weekly pools that we did for NFL games or whatever. You do your in-house pool or whatever, those kind of things. So, again, I think this is going on all over the country right now. The spotlight is all on the state of Iowa, and now one of those kids who's transferred to Nebraska is in that web.
And I'll tell you this, too. My brother is a Division I women's basketball official, and when he was in high school, my dad kind of started – this is before you could watch all of the games on all the different channels, right? And so the best place to watch, like the first and second round games, was at the sportsbook. I think they were just driving through and wound up in Laughlin, Nevada,
south of Vegas,
and sat up at the sportsbook. And this is when he was maybe in college, and they they did it for a few years. But then once he got the call to move up to Division I, he had to stop doing it. I mean, it is a huge no-no. And he's repping women's basketball, but you're not, when you're an official, it is like absolutely, and you are told that you cannot do it. And so to me, that's where and I don't know if it's just young kids thinking, oh, I'm invincible a little bit, or oh, they'll never catch me. But it's very much communicated that you cannot do this.
Right.
And that's where I'm confused at where the miscommunication has happened, where they feel like it's okay to do it.
Well, I think you feel like you have a phone. Who's going to find it? It's my own little personal device. I'm going to get away with this. John in Omaha on our text line said, legal or not, I'm concerned for this young man. 1,800 bets is a lot. If you did that in 1 year, which I am not saying it was, that would be 3 bets per day. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's more than recreational and a cause for concern. You're right, John. That's exactly right. And that's where we're getting to. And I think that's why a lot of people who are against sports betting, and Tom Osborne was one of those, you worry. These kids get a little bit of money, they do this, they fall down that rabbit hole, and before you know it, you've got an issue.
And
got a problem.
They're still developing in brains, and they're just not, you're not mature enough to kind of understand the magnitude of the rabbit hole you can go down in this thing.
Absolutely. So, a story that we'll continue to follow. If my gut's telling me we probably don't see Aaron play as a Husker. That's my gut. I think he's probably going to be suspended by the NCAA.
And you don't want to take that risk at all.
You don't want to take that risk.
And push it at all. And this coaching staff will do everything right. And it's disappointing because now you lose a point guard, but you don't want to risk.
You can't.
Getting anybody else in trouble.
Hey, to Hogemeyer, local means something greater. Raise local, raise right here in Husker Nation. Learn more at therightseed.com. Again, Hall of Fame night. When we come back, we're going to talk to Kyle Vandenbosch. Boy, was he a terrific black shirt. Went on to an amazing career in the National Football League. We're back to talk to him. That's next.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastriode fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or at adastriode.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens. But every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip.
Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, I think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Woodhouse Chevy is making car buying better, now with two convenient locations in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and our newest location in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. Plus, going on now, receive up to $6,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit us in-store or online anytime to shop our current offers and inventory. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and now in Omaha.
With Blue Credit, see better for details. Offer expires 7/31/2023.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more acres, solutions for every field. Well, we've been making our way through the latest Nebraska Football Hall of Fame class and delighted to be joined tonight by Kyle Vandenbosch. Terrific career at Nebraska and then an amazing career in the National Football League. Kyle, congratulations. Who called you? Who reached out to you? And what were your reaction when you heard the news?
Yeah, I got an email, actually. I was on vacation, and I didn't really know what to make of it. It was surprising. It seems like a lifetime ago that I was playing at Nebraska. So, but to me, it's such a tremendous honor. It was an honor for me to be a part of such a program, such a legendary program, be a part of the teams I was a part of, to be around the players I was around, and to be recognized as one of the greats to go through the program. It's a tremendous honor, and I'm extremely humbled by it.
Take me back to the high school days. What the recruiting process? Who was the coach that recruited you? How'd you land on Nebraska?
So the recruiting process was pretty short for me. I had some injuries in high school. I broke my femur my freshman year. I had a separated shoulder my sophomore year. And so when I was starting to get recruited, I went to camps at Iowa State. I went to camp at Iowa. I visited Notre Dame spring game before my junior year. But to me, I wanted to kind of get it all out of the way so I could really focus on finishing out my high school career. And there was really never any question in my mind that it was going to be Nebraska. I went to a camp this summer of my junior year, tested out really well, and was offered by Coach Osborne. And it was a pretty quick decision after that. Part of it was Nebraska was the program at the time. I mean, just come off 2 straight national championships. The Tom Osborne was a legend, and they were recruiting me to play rush end, which was kind of the premier position of Nebraska's defense. So, all of those factors were part of it. But to me, I didn't go through the typical recruiting process. I didn't take all the visits, didn't meet with all the coaches. I just, knew that Nebraska was the place for me.
Right before you had Rucker, you had Alberts, you had Wistrom. I mean, were those guys that caught your eye when you were going through the whole thing?
They did. Really, when I got there, Grant was the man. Jason Peter was there. Chad Kelsey, Mike Rucker. To me, look, I played extremely hard in high school, but seeing the way they approached practice, seeing their attitude, seeing how they brought the energy every day, and really everybody else on the defense fed on that energy. I think that shaped not just my Nebraska career, but the rest of my playing career. And I was able to take some of that with me and make that a part of my game, how I practice and how I played.
Again, visiting with Kyle Vandenbosch, one of the newest members of the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. Kyle, do you remember the first time you got a black shirt?
I do. Yeah, because Charlie McBride was still there when I was playing, and the black shirt was extremely important to him and what it meant. It was a great ceremony when they handed out the black shirts. To me, again, just being a part of that defensive line was great. But you've arrived, and you're not the man, but you're a part of something special when you put that black shirt on. I mean, you feel like you're a part of a select group when you play defensive line Nebraska, but it's even more select and more elite once you get that black shirt. Was it emotional the first time you got it? It was. I don't think I cried. I think some of my teammates did. But yep. It's the coaches recognizing the work you put in. It's the coaches recognizing your ability, but it's also kind of gives you legitimacy to be a leader, to step out and to hold everybody else accountable. And to me, it's a big step. It's a big honor, but it's a big step in your process of going through Nebraska, because you've worked hard to get that black shirt. But once you have it, it's a tremendous responsibility to uphold the standards that everybody else that wore the black shirt before you had.
What would you say was your best game in Lincoln?
Well, my best game was my last game against Northwestern in the Holiday Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, I know basketball players talk about it, but football players, pass rushers, defensive ends, you can get in this zone where, you're just in this special place where you don't feel like anybody can block you. It doesn't feel like no matter what they try to do to you, that they can stop you. And that was one of those games. And, that's that feeling from that I had in that Northwestern game. I probably had that maybe only a handful of times throughout my career in a handful of games like that. But that's like the one that stands out in college.
You guys steamrolled them. You absolutely steamrolled them that night. You mentioned Charlie McBride, Kyle. He was hard. He was a hard coach, wasn't he? He was hard on guys.
He was. I love that. Look, football teams need accountability. Players, they won't admit it, but they crave that type of accountability. Charlie, held all of his players to a high standard, and he wouldn't put up with a lack of effort. He wouldn't put up with repeated mistakes. But he's the type of coach, and I'm a high school coach now, and I try to take little bits and pieces from all the coaches I had, and I try to do some of the things that Charlie McBride would do, where he can be tough on you, but he cares about you. You would talk it to him off the field, not in a football setting. He's the nicest man on the planet, and then sometimes when he's your coach, you feel like he hates you, but he can coach you hard because he's developed that relationship, and he shows that he does care about you, not just as a football player, but as a person. And when a coach does that, players will do just about anything they can. Players do anything you ask them to do if you develop that type of relationship and that type of trust.
Do you think you were prepared then for the next level because of how hard you were coached at Nebraska?
I do. Yeah, it's not just how hard I was coached. It was, again, the environment that I was around. Coming in as a freshman once again, and the leaders on the team are Grant Wistrom and Jason Peter, and how they went through practice, how they prepared themselves, and just the level of intensity that they never shut off. It was there every single day, whether it be winter conditioning or summer workouts or even walkthroughs. They were always dialed in. And so I think that culture, and it's, a big part of it is the coaching, but that culture and the environment and the player leadership in our locker room, that really prepared me for the next level.
You also, Kyle, won a big academic award. Talk about the academic side of your college days at Nebraska. And, I'm sure the coaches were on you guys about get to class, do all that stuff. But how about the support you got here at Nebraska for your academics?
Yeah, it was tremendous. At the time, I think we had the best academic staff. And actually, I just went back. I took my boys to a spring practice at Nebraska, and a lot of those same people are still in the academic wing at Nebraska. They do, they help you, they give you resources, but at the same time, I grew up in a family where, my parents made it very clear that I was going to college to get my degree and to do well in school, and the football side of it would come second. So, it was always instilled in me from a young age how important school was, and that my parents were more proud of me for bringing home a report card with all A's than they were anything I ever did on the athletic field.
Well, you mentioned you're doing some high school coaching. Update people. What's your life like right now?
Busy. My life is best when I have no free time. I'm loving what I'm doing. So last year I coached freshman defensive line. I have twin boys that were freshmen in high school. This year I got bumped up and I'm the special teams coordinator at my boys' high school. I'm also a strength coach there. I do radio for the Arizona Cardinals. I do pregame and postgame stuff, and then I have a weekly podcast I do for the Arizona Cardinals. So, Yeah, I'm pretty busy, particularly in the fall. It's we've got practice Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, game Friday, practice on Saturday, and then Sundays I got to go do radio for the Cardinals. So it keeps me busy, but it's a reason I, jump out of bed every day because I've got stuff to do and I love what I'm doing.
Well, I know it's going to be tough for you to get back. If you don't make it back, we'll miss you. But again, congratulations. So well-deserving, an amazing career. I still see every now and then I'll see a Vandenbosch shirt walk by the window here on game days. So you are still very much remembered and beloved here in Husker Nation.
Thank you very much for having me.
Wow, what a treat that was. Kyle Vandenbosch, one of the new members of the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. Great to talk to him. Really good Husker career, maybe a better pro career. I mean, this was a 12-year NFL vet, 3-time Pro Bowler. He had an amazing NFL career, but well-deserved to put him in the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. He joined us on our Sports Sunday Hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. All right, phone lines, text lines back open. Maybe you have a memory of a Kyle Vandenbosch play at Nebraska. 402-413-2400. That's the number to be part of the program with a call or a text. Jessica will rejoin me next.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in scarlet and cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply. Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever-so-loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealers, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. So good to hear from Kyle Vandenbosch. I did not know he's doing Arizona Cardinals football on the radio, but lives down there in the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix. He's got twin boys that he said they came back in March for camp, and my guess is his boys probably are pretty good little players. Maybe we'll see some more Vandenbosches come here in a couple years.
Hey, you got a few texts about him, too, liking and appreciating his perspective on things. I feel like a lot of people enjoy the walk down memory lane with these guys.
Yeah, it's fun to hear from him. So it's good. And thanks for Kyle for giving us a little bit of time here on the program tonight. We talked in the opening segment about the Aaron Eula situation, the Husker basketball player, the transfer from Iowa, who was now allegedly he's under investigation by gambling folks in the state of Iowa. Had opened up through his brother an account on FanDuel. This story kind of broke today. ESPN.com has a story up today. Fred Hoiberg talked to the media a couple of hours ago after their exhibition game in Spain and said that he has talked about this with the team once the story broke earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, I did address it with the team after the game because obviously an article came out. I didn't want them finding out about it on social media. The thing that we need to do right now is make sure that we help Aaron as best we can throughout this process and see where it goes. Our guys, listen, it's a great group of kids, and they're going to rally around Aaron, and again, we'll see what happens with it.
So there's Coach Hoiberg being as open as he can. He says, I can't give you a lot of specifics about the investigation because it's still ongoing. Just know that we're cooperating here from the University of Nebraska. To the game side, that shorthanded group of Huskers won again today, 86-83. One new player is the true freshman, and the only true freshman on scholarship in this class, and that's Eli Rice, who played at IMG Academy a year ago. He had a heck of a game today. Game-high 20 points for the Huskers. He's a 6'7" forward. He can play a little bit of guard as well. Had a double-double in the game today, and the coach pretty excited about him.
Yeah, the thing that I was most impressed with Eli tonight was he made some unbelievable toughness and hustle plays. He had 6 offensive rebounds. He had a huge play at the end of the game where he got fouled, stepped up, knocked down a free throw to put us up, and then hit 2 more on the ensuing possession after a really good stop. and 11 rebounds is the thing that I'm most pleased with Eli. Obviously, 20 points is great, but the 11 rebounds is what I was most impressed with. So, it's going to be a process with Eli as it is with all freshmen. But, to be over here playing against a lot of physicality, it's how the game is in Europe, especially in this country. They don't call a lot of fouls, and I think our guys adjusted to that very well.
I like Eli Rice. I mean, again, going back to the group that they brought in, he's very much a part of that when we're talking about Rink and Bryce and those guys that they brought in. Eli Rice is, I know he's just the only lone freshman, but he's going to be a player. I think he's going to be able to make an impact early.
What a good trip for him.
Yes.
Because he's playing so many minutes, and they need him to do certain things. For a lot of guys, it's not that important. For Eli Rice, first time to play some college basketball against it, it's perfect for him. So don't forget about him. He signed last November. You kind of forget that name. You get excited about Josiah Alec and Bryce Williams and those guys coming in, but don't sleep on Eli Rice. And, folks, we've been talking up Cale Jacobson, the walk-on from Ashland Greenwood. He had another good game today. Here's the coach talking about Cale.
Yeah, he continues to make big plays, especially down the stretch for us. He was 5 for 7 at 2 great takes to the basket late in the game when the Spanish team was making a run on us. Went right to the basket, jumped right into a chest, and had 2 really high-level finishes to keep our lead. And he's just, he's a great kid that understands every position on the floor. And even though he didn't play in our system a year ago, he has an unbelievable basketball IQ and a guy that is never going to back down. 7 big rebounds for Cale tonight as well. And we really played through him at the end, got him the ball in the middle of the floor and ran actions on both sides. And he did a great job attacking the basket.
Are we the president of his fan club?
I think so. Of Cale's or Fred's? Both.
Well, yeah, Fred, that goes without saying. But Cale.
We've been talking about Cale, and I mean, I keep going back to the conversations I had throughout last season, and we weren't talking. Not a lot of people weren't talking about him because he was redshirting, but we just kept hearing things about how well he was doing in the gym that people weren't seeing, and so I am not surprised. I know they were excited about him, and I think he's a versatile player that's going to be able to do a lot of different things. Look out for him.
Good stuff. They've got one more game left over there, and then they'll head back. I think they get back Monday night or something from their trip. So they've got one more game. I think the women play tomorrow in their second game over there. I kind of hope for them they get somebody a little tougher, a little bit better competition, so maybe they can get more out of that. But that's a good win today. Kind of helps offset some of the tough news on Aaron Eulis that broke earlier today on ESPN.com. Folks, buckle up. Put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We'll finish off Hour 1 coming up next.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student-athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student-athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram & Blair is your trusted auto partner with savings on Ram models to fit your lifestyle. During the Make This the Summer sales event, get $9,424 off MSRP on a new Ram 1500 Quad Cab Warlock or $8,746 off MSRP on a 2023 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn. Built for summer adventures with massive towing and hauling capability and 4 legendary engines to choose from. Serving the Metro since 1991, this is Woodhouse. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. $299 doc fee due at sign. When financed with Chrysler Capital. Offer expires 7/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Folks, our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program. In the last couple of minutes here of our number one. Huskers did practice today, but no media availability today. There will be media availability after tomorrow's practice, and offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield will meet with the media tomorrow. So, and with more pads on than what we've seen before, maybe a little bit more physicality. We'll see how that's going. But it's always good to hear from these coordinators after they get a couple practices under their belts.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, we went out to practice the other day. For me, just a spectator, it's hard for me to get a lot out of practices until they put on pads, which is why I think I was so blown away by Brian Buschini.
By the way, good for him.
I know. We were just talking about how impressed we were with him at practice, and then, oh, by the way, today he's on the preseason watch list.
Good for him. He might stay on that for a while.
I think so. I mean, and it means a lot to him, you know, with the legacy of the punter here and being in the Big Ten and understanding his role. And I didn't notice, though, because I wasn't out there when they were doing, like, kicking field goals. Is he still going to be the holder?
I was not out there for that. I would assume he will be.
Yeah.
I was not out there when they did that either. I was there for the punting part of it. I did not see the kicking part.
I think he had never been a holder before. And I think he really liked it because it gave him a chance to be on the field even more. And so he, I mean, I've told this story before, but at Michigan, it was early. And he said something like, oh, I'm just ready to get back out there. Holding, that is, not punting. So when he goes, how's it going? You staying warm? You know, just chit-chat. He's like super friendly guy. It's like, I mean, I'm trying. How you doing? He goes, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back out there. Holding, that is, not punting. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, because if it's punting, it means we didn't score in that drive. We're having to give the ball back.
Yeah, so it just gives him, and he has talked about that at length, it just gives him more opportunities to be out there, and he's a competitor and wants to help out the team any way he can. But he's a guy that's, it's not very often you find a specialist that's as respected as Brian Buschini is on this football team.
Next hour, Billy Kemp. We talked to him earlier in the week after a practice session, the transfer wide receiver from Virginia, who's going to be a big part of the kick return game as well. We'll hear from him. And Tolly Thompson, one of the new members of the Husker Hall of Fame, great wrestler in the mid-'90s, three-time conference champ, a couple in the Big 8 and one in the Big 12. He was there when we made the transition from the Big 8 to the Big 12. He also won a national championship in the heavyweight division. Look forward to talking to him. And, folks, the E word is back. Expansion. What is going on? It will not die, and the Big Ten might be right in the middle of that. We'll get into that topic coming up in the second hour of the program as well. Don't go away. Come on back. Have some fun with us.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Discover the meticulously crafted and effortlessly iconic 2023 Cadillac lineup at Woodhouse Cadillac. Lease a 2023 Cadillac XT4 for $499 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. Visit us in-store at our newest location at 112th and Dodge in Omaha or online anytime at woodhousecadillac.com. With approved credit, must have a current Cadillac lease. Down payment $299.fee and first payment due at signing. Offer expires 7/31/23. See dealer for details.
Good evening. I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Gambling investigations at Iowa and Iowa State have now resulted in criminal charges filed against seven current or former athletes, including the recent Nebraska men's basketball point guard transfer, Aaron Eulis. Fred Hoiberg, who is currently with the team in Spain, addressed the media following their game this afternoon.
We've been working with compliance on this since we were made aware of a possible eligibility issue with him. We were not aware of this issue at the time we were recruiting him in the transfer portal this spring. We weren't certain where the eligibility question would end up. We just focused on the basketball end of things this summer. We had no knowledge of any possible legal charges until I was made of it just before tonight's game.
Eulis is currently with the team on their international trip, but has not played in either of their two contests. Speaking of Husker men's basketball today, they posted an 86-83 win over Valencia All-Stars a few hours ago. Major contributions came by the way of Eli Bryce, who tallied a game-high 20 points, including 3 crucial free throws in the final 25 seconds. 4 other Huskers joined Rice in double figures. C.J. Wilcher finished with 19 and 8 rebounds. Bryce Williams added 16. Redshirt freshman Cale Jacobson had 12. And Jamarcus Lawrence finished with 10 points. And turning towards Husker football, junior punter Brian Buschini was one of 50 punters nationally named to the preseason watch list for the 2023 Ray Guy Award. The award is presented to the nation's best collegiate punter in the FBS, and Buschini has made that watch list for the second year in a row. And more headlines broke with the football team as defensive back Miles Farmer has entered the transfer portal today after receiving a suspension from Matt Rule for the start of preseason practice. Rule did not disclose the reason for Farmer's suspension other than to say it had to do with a failure to adhere to team standards. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The trips to the near side, rolls the pocket right, being hit as he throws down the field. The pass is up for in the air. Marquise Buford makes the pit. There's the first INT of the year for the Husker. Marquise Buford pulls it out of the air at the Nebraska 24-yard line. 2nd and 6, DeVito goes shotgun. Motions the tight end, so you have 3 eligible to the near side. A little screen to the near side. Huskers blow it up. Oh, what a play made by Quentin Newsom. Read that beautifully, made the tackle. It's a loss on the play of 4 yards. Snap back. They give it off to Anthony Grant. Picks his way to the left. Inside the 10, inside the 40, 35, 30. Breaks the tackle. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, hour number 2 of our Hump Day show here on Sports Nightly. So glad you're with us here in the program tonight. Good hour coming up. Billy Kemp, the wide receiver transfer from Virginia, who's going to be a big part of this offense and special teams. He was a really good kick returner for the Cavs the last couple of years. Great addition to this team. And as Matt Rule said at his press gathering on Monday, he goes, if I'm going to get jumped in an alley, he goes, I want Billy with me. He goes, he will scratch and fight and claw and do all that.
And I think just, again, the kind of teammate you want to have, right, that's going to have your back and do whatever is necessary. Because even if you go back to what he did at Virginia, while he racked up a lot of accolades, it wasn't like he was in an offense that was a pass-heavy offense for a wide receiver. So for him to stick around and be a part of that kind of offense for 4 years, to me, I think speaks volumes about the kind of teammate that Billy Kemp is.
So we're going to hear from him here in a couple of minutes. Later in the hour, we finish off our series of interviews with members of the Cornhusker Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame, that's going to be inducted in October. Tolly Thompson, a terrific wrestler back in the 90s. He will join us, lives over in Iowa now. That's right in the heart of wrestling country over there in the Hawkeye State. But we were delighted to have him become a Cornhusker, so we'll talk to Tolly coming up later in the hour. And we want your input throughout the show, 402-413-2400. You can dial up with a call or fire off a text. We're constantly checking that text line. And for those of you watching on our YouTube stream, that audience continues to grow. They have a terrific time in the chat room. I don't think they listen to you and I very much. They just they talk amongst themselves.
Sometimes I look down and see, like, what are you guys even talking about right now? Which Crypto King was a football player himself. That's been a big topic of conversation. You know, we've got lots of conversations going there. It's a fun time. They've been here. I think it was one of the shows you were gone, but Crypto said it was his 500th show.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be, speaking of being gone, I'm going to be gone the rest of the week after tonight, and next week I'm headed to a place I've never been.
Canada?
I've never been to Canada. I'm going to go to Canada. So I'm leaving the show in your capable hands, and you've already lined up some terrific guests to come in my absence.
Yes, I have made a call in from the bullpen. Got the closers coming in. We've got Searles. Jeremiah is going to be in. We've had so many people ask about him because, again, he just like disappears when it's not football season, but he's around. He's here. He's ready to talk some football, so he's going to step in a couple nights, and then John Baylor, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to be here.
You know, he used to host this show.
Yes.
Way back when, but...
So he's going to be here one night next week, next week.
Ask him about the Yankees. Just go ahead and ask him about the Yankees. Just
I will.
Go ahead and do that.
I will.
All right, Billy Kemp, had a chance to catch up with him after the Monday practice about how it felt to just be back out there on the field. Well, Billy, tell me about day one. How'd it feel to be out there running around having an actual practice?
Yes, sir. It was great to get back out there with the team and, just start the building. 1% better every day. So, we definitely achieved our 1% today and look forward to watching film and attacking it tomorrow.
That was move-in day to the dorms.
It was different, but it feels good to, be around the team and, just be hanging out outside of the facility. So it was definitely a different transition, but it's pretty cool.
What was your reaction when you heard you were going to do that?
Something different, but it's just a part of the work, so just something different, ready to attack it.
Was there a curfew last night for everybody?
I think it was around 10, like they came and checked the rooms, but we had a long day yesterday. Everybody was pretty much laying down, so.
Yeah, how was Fan Day? Did you enjoy that?
It was good. It was definitely different than any Fan Day I've experienced before. Just want to say thank you all the fans for showing up, and it was great seeing y'all yesterday.
Is it kind of fun seeing little kids come up to you?
Yeah, it is. I had them sign my name tag, so I got some signatures too.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like you're a Cornhusker yet? Do you feel like that transition's happened?
Yes, sir. I think it happened in January.
That quick?
Yeah. When I decided to come here, I was a Cornhusker. I was all in. So.
I've seen some coaches put out you guys have gone out to dinner a few times the last few weeks. How do you feel like the room is? Do you feel like there's a nice cohesiveness in the room?
Yes, sir. We have a lot of playmakers, and, we're ready to get out there and work and, ultimately make plays.
How was 7-on-7 during the summer? Do you feel like you got some good chemistry with Jeff?
Yes, sir. I think the whole room got chemistry together and with all the quarterbacks. Just detailing our routes and our assignments. And I feel like it was a big step for us coming into this fall camp.
You've been through this several times now. What's the most important thing the next 10 days are for a football team?
Recovery and cohesiveness. So just staying together and recovering hard so we can attack the next day hard.
Do you feel like you have a good handle on the playbook?
Yes, sir. The coaches always have an open door if anybody has questions. So, we all been with Coach McGuire and Coach Satt, Jeff, Heinrich, all of them guys just, trying to master it. So it's coming along well.
How big a part of special teams do you want to play?
I want to make a big impact in special teams wherever the team needs me. Wherever I can make an impact, that's where I'll love to make an impact for the team.
Do you have a preference between kickoff and punts, or will you do both?
I'll do both, but I like punt return better. It just comes natural. Something I've been trying to perfect over these years. But, I love both of them, but I'll do both, play both, whatever for the team.
All right, well, have a good camp. Keep yourself healthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
He'll do whatever he needs to do, but I'm excited to see him do all of it because I think he's going to help in special teams a lot.
He's going to do whatever. I mean, he's just kind of a team guy, like I was talking about earlier. But I always find it interesting because sometimes you come along those kinds of guys that they're receivers, but they're real. What really drives them is being a part of punt return, kickoff return. Like, some guys have a preference, and they would rather make a big play on special teams than they would catch a big, long touchdown pass, right? I mean, and I feel like he kind of maybe seems like being one of those guys that, hey, if I could be an asset in the special teams. Some wide receivers are wired that way.
To me, the most exciting plays in the sport are the big returns, either kickoff or punt. I think those are the biggest momentum changes in games. We have not done much of that the last couple of years. We've seen an awful lot of fair catches.
I've not seen a special teams touchdown return.
We blocked a punt. Wasn't it Malcolm blocked a punt for a touchdown last year?
Return is what I'm saying. Like,
I know, no returns. We had a client last year that had a promotion for kickoff returns for touchdowns. That had no chance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they had no chance.
There's so much that goes into it, but I mean, when you can, it gets overlooked, but it's just such a huge momentum changer. It can totally change the trajectory of a game when you can make big special teams play. And you and I were out there when they were working on special teams, and that was almost as fired up as I saw the coaching staff the entire time we were out there. I mean, not saying that they weren't fired up for others, but hey, they're putting an emphasis on that, and they're getting after guys. If you're not doing things right, if you're not running back, when you go cover on a punt return, if you're not running back, you better hustle back. I mean, so to me, just the emphasis that I've seen the couple times I've been out there or yesterday and then back in spring, just the how big of an emphasis that they're putting on special teams, to me makes me feel like maybe some big special teams plays are coming.
I hope so, because it's just been missing the last couple of years. And I don't think Ed Foley is a big fan of the fair catch. I think Ed Foley wants his guys to try to make a play, make a guy miss, and then move on up the field. Now, there's some danger in that, because on kickoffs, you better have a lane or get going, or you can get tackled inside the 25, where if you just fair catch, you get the ball at the 25, so you got to be a little careful. But boy, I remember Damon and I a couple times last year would go, man, why did he had a chance to go? Oliver Martin would wait for
Tommy Hill, how close was he so many times?
Thought he would go. I thought he would go.
I mean, and
he's got to be involved in this, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, in the spring he certainly was. And didn't you ask? And he was one in the lineup.
Ed mentioned him as one of the guys he wants to look at.
And there were a couple times that, especially once Tommy switched to offense and he wasn't playing defense, and that was the only role that he was doing is on special teams, and they were trying, I think that was the hope, and he would come back over to the sideline and everyone was, oh, it was this close, and they would come talk to him about, oh, do this, do that, and you could tell they felt it was close. It just never happened. He never was able to break it.
Never quite popped. Folks, right now enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel. From gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com. We're back to talk to wrestler Tolly Thompson. I know a lot of you love Husker wrestling. This was one of the best. We'll do that next.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
TV's out. Internet too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
There's a new kind of season ticket when you fly from the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of the Huskers. Now at LNK, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFlyLNK.com and book your trip today. Let's go.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Husker fans, we need your support in celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium while cheering on the Huskers this fall. Purchase an all-new Husker football Big Ten 3-game package today for only $100. This package gets you a ticket to the Northwestern, Purdue, and Maryland home games, all for just $100. A very limited amount of Husker football single-game tickets are also on sale. Tickets are only available while supplies last. Purchase yours today at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red!
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sap Brothers. For over 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and the service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Well, for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking to some members of the newest members of the Nebraska Athletics Hall of Fame, and one of those is a terrific wrestlers for the Cornhuskers. Tolly Thompson wrestled for the Big Red from 1993 to 1997. He will be enshrined in the fall, along with an incredible class. He joins us now. Tolly, congratulations. When you heard the news, what was your reaction?
I was pretty excited. I figured, wow. I've been seeing all the ones. I live in Iowa, and I see all the state schools here, and they induct people, and all the guys were about 10 years younger than I am. I'm like, why ain't I in Nebraska yet? And then they explained it to me a little bit different. Nebraska's is a lot different than just a normal normal college one. So then I was extremely excited then when they said there's only 3 wrestlers ever. So that's pretty cool too.
Sure is. And you're going in with a guy like Tommy Frazier and longtime track and field coach Gary Pepin. I mean, this is the who's who, and you're right there with them.
Oh yeah, I spent a lot of time with Gary lifting weights out there on that track. After practices at night, he'd be out there walking or lifting or doing stuff, and I got a lot of memories of that man out there doing extra.
Tolly, let's go down memory lane. Well, how did you get to Lincoln? Take me back to the end of your high school days. How did it end up being a Cornhusker?
Well, I was a average student. I wasn't a rock star student, and I had a 17 on my ACT, which was borderline back then. And so Iowa and Iowa State weren't really, Iowa recruited me, but Iowa State was only taking, higher end kids at that time. So they were out. And then Northern Iowa had a kid that I'd wrestled quite a bit in high school, and he was a heavyweight. And so they were out. And then Iowa was in, but then Coach Newman and Coach Coody, and I mean, coming from a small school in Iowa, I knew that I needed to have partners, and Coach Coody was instrumental in developing me and making me who I am into a man that I am today, because we were buddies, let alone workout partners. But then go into that room, I mean, we had some upperclassmen that were great, like Chris Nelson, and Corey Olson. We had a Russian named Ovanis. We had Rulon, obviously everybody knows Rulon, the Olympic gold medalist in Greco-Roman wrestling. And then there's numerous other people too. Then like Ryan Tobin was my age. And we just had a bunch of good, tough, heavyweight, upperweight kids. And I knew that I needed an environment to thrive. I knew I needed partners. Coming from a small school in Iowa, I didn't have partners like I did there. So I got to that point, got to Nebraska, got enrolled, got in the room, and got my head beat in for a few years. But then I made a few teams, like freestyle teams, because I always wrestled freestyle in the summertime, and I was probably a little better at that than I was folk style. So, and that's where I think Coach Newman and Coach Coody found me, was on the freestyle circuit in the summertime.
Yeah, we're visiting with Husker Hall of Famer Tolly Thompson, 3-time Big 8 champion, and also an NCAA champion in 1995. I guess one of your championships came in the Big 12 conference.
Yeah, I was just going to correct you there. I was the very last Big 8 champion at heavyweight.
How about that?
Which is kind of cool. And then obviously you guys are in the Big 10 now, but then I was the very first Big 12 champion at heavyweight. So that's kind of cool. Being in that era and that time frame. So.
What do you remember about the NCAA championships, the one you won in '95? What was that meet like?
Oh, it was a blur. I remember it was in Carver Hawkeye Arena, and so that was my home state, and so I felt real comfortable. I remember first couple rounds being pretty excited, wrestling pretty good, and getting a little tired just because nerves and anxiety and stress. I mean, it's 3 days of high pressure, high energy, and trying to get up twice a day, and then on Saturday you have to wait all day for the finals, which is hard. So, but it was a blur, but then winning in the semis and seeing a guy that I'd never beat before, Kerry McCoy, go down on the mat next to me. And then I was going to end up wrestling a guy from Northern Iowa, which is where I live at now in Cedar Falls, Justin Greenlee, in the finals, who we'd wrestled a lot over the years. And I'd wrestled him during the year a few times, and I knew I'd beat him pretty handedly. So I had a pretty good idea that I was fairly confident going into that finals. So,
Tolly, you're still the record holder at Nebraska for most all-time victories. This program's put out some pretty good names like Jordan Burroughs, but no, it's you at the top of the heap. Yeah. That's got to mean something to you.
It does. It does. My knees are definitely feeling that this day and age, I think. I need a couple new ones. So, but yeah, that's probably a record that'll probably stay for a while with these new rules and how they don't get as many matches. I think a few years I was 40 matches or 45 matches a year, and that's a lot of wrestling. So, but yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. I know I'm kind of excited to get my daughters out there. I don't know if they've ever seen all the wrestling and all that part of it. My wife has, but they're going to be pretty excited to see most of that stuff too.
That's fantastic. Tolly, I just want to get it. What do you remember about campus, about Lincoln? I mean, you talked about working out on the track with Gary Pepin. What memories do you have of walking around on campus?
I remember walking from the training table over to class. I remember meeting with tutors. I remember meeting with the academic people. I remember going to a lot of study hall my first year.
Yeah.
You know, you know what? Looking back, I know nobody liked it, but I think it keeps a lot of people in school. It keeps a lot of people going, you know. So I remember that. I remember the Vanden Center quite well. I spent a lot of time in that area. So I remember going to some football games, some volleyball matches, playing racquetball over at the Coliseum on Sundays was something we did quite a bit.
Do you stay in touch at all with any of your teammates or former coaches?
Oh, yeah. I talk to Coach Coody still quite a bit. And then teammates, I'm on some group snaps with some teammates, like a couple guys I live with, Chad Nelson and Joe Stevens, Jason Reitmeyer. There's a few more I talk to here and there. So some guys I wrestled with that live in Nebraska, I talked to them. I came back last year for the Big Tens, and so that was pretty exciting being around that and seeing a lot of old teammates and just being in the area. It was fun.
Well, update us on what you're doing. What's life like for you right now?
Well, it's chaotic. I mean, I got 35 rental properties. That keeps a guy going pretty good. I got a wife and 3 kids. That keeps you going. And then I got a small farm. I do some farming, do some gardening, you know, and just kind of, I keep pretty busy with that kind of stuff. I flip a house every now and then. Just being in the rental business, I just decided I might as well have a side project to keep me busy. And I've been buying houses since I probably graduated from college. And so I do some of that. I bought a few farms. So I just kind of dabble in real estate and just kind of keep my days going. There's always something to do. There's always something to clean up or a yard to mow or a tree to trim. And if you don't have that, you got your own acreage to take care of or your own stuff. So then you got daughters that need stuff fixed. So there's always something for me to do. So
they're going to honor you in this class the last weekend of October. I sure hope you're going to come back.
Yes, I am. I'm planning on it. I talked to Keith Zimmer about it, and I already said I was coming. I got one of my old teammates. He came from Iowa too, Jason Lockett. He's going to come back and be around during it. So that'll be a fun weekend for my family and a bunch of my friends. And maybe I do quite a bit hunting these days. I know from usually mid-September till mid-January, I spend a lot of my time either in a tree or chasing a pheasant or chasing a duck or goose or a deer or anything, you know. So I've had a good time with hunting I've kind of made it my priority in the last 5 years to spend more time enjoying that part of it. So, but I'm going to take a weekend off in October and come there, and maybe I'll catch a hunting trip out there while I'm there for a few days after or before.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Did you hunt any while you were in college here?
I did. We had a little place right outside of Lincoln, a farmer. You go out on North O. I mean, it's probably all developed now. But we go out there maybe 10 miles and go south about 3, and there's a farmer there, and he'd let us hunt every Sunday, you know, during the season or whenever we wanted. We just go out there, and he had some quail and pheasant to chase. We chased a lot of quail around his farm. And I'd never hunted quail before till I got out there. They don't have that here. They got some partridge here, but not quail. So that was, chasing coveys is always fun, you know. Then I kind of got into duck hunting and goose hunting out there. I started, and I've kind of followed up here in the last few years with that. I've started doing more of that. I do some trap shooting. I don't know. There's always sporting clays. There's always something every weekend. You can't do it all, but it's fun to kind of run around and chase it.
Well, Tolly, congratulations again. I hope you've been able to enjoy this. I hope you've been able to brag a little bit to your kids about, hey, I was a pretty good athlete in college.
Yeah, well, my girls, they you know, with the internet now and with everything going on, they can YouTube my name and they can figure out, wow, Dad, you did do a pretty good job wrestling, you know. And I wrestled after college too for a long time, so that was fun. Also, I traveled all over the world and wrestled a couple world championships and a lot of tournaments, and been to a lot of third world countries that most people never ever want to see or go to. And
Yeah.
I've been there and wrestled in them. So,
Well, this has been so much fun kind of going down memory lane with you. I can't wait to see you in person in October, and I hope that whole family comes back with you.
yeah, my girls are all coming back, and I know they're one of them stole one of my leather jacket from back in the day, and so they're kind of fighting over that right now. She didn't steal it; she just took it to college with her. And then she's got to warm up, and a bunch of they love all my old wrestling clothes and old Nebraska stuff, and so I'm a little bit thin on that stuff, but that's all right. They'll find some new stuff, and I'm sure one of them will want to wear that leather jacket. So that is one of my fond memories of being in school there too, was, after your sophomore year, you got a leather jacket, and it was cold there walking around on campus. So it was always nice to have that big N. And if you didn't want to know you had that N, you could wear it inside out. You could wear the gray side. So
That's great. Well, again, Tolly, congratulations. Can't wait to see you in a couple months.
No problem. Thank you. It'll be fun.
Oh, how much fun was that? Tolly Thompson, a terrific Husker wrestler back, and I kind of catch myself because he started in the Big 8, and then we made that transition to the Big 12 for his last conference championship. That was fun talking about those days with him. He joined us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. Anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. All right, phone lines, text lines back open, 402-413-2400. Jessica will rejoin me next.
Hey, Husker fans, Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastriode fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastriode.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to learn more about water softeners and our flexible financing offers, or call
John Henry's
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the
Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Thanks to Tolly Thompson for spending some time with us. I know a lot of our fans will remember him. You kind of have an affinity for those heavyweights, the big guys getting out on the mat. They're usually the last match of a duel. And so a lot of people kind of lock in on those heavyweights, and he was a terrific one.
How great is that name, Tolly
Isn't that
Thompson?
Great? Yeah. And I said to you, I go, if I just turned on the YouTube stream and go, what sport do you think he played? You'd probably pretty quickly latch on that he's a wrestler.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Good stuff.
For sure.
I mentioned that the E word is popping back up. Expansion is popping up. Our good friend Dennis Dodd of CBSSports.com put up a column about 3 hours ago saying the Big Ten has started considering further additions to their 16-team conference. Sources tell CBS Sports that they have started to talk and vet Oregon, Washington, Cal, and Stanford. Your reaction?
Okay, so I guess I'm a little confused that if it's about money, right? And the bottom line, isn't that what this all boils down to, and which teams you're adding are adding value? Do you think the TV networks are going to shell out more money for those four teams?
Nope.
Are there any other teams left on the table besides Notre Dame that teams would shell out more money for?
I don't think so.
So you're basically going into conversations, are we okay with taking a pay cut at this point? Because what you have guaranteed yourselves or expect to make at this point is going to go down, because you're going to have to share that with four teams that are not going to be adding value to your TV package. But I guess on the flip side of that is it's not like the Big 12, whatever schools they add, are going to get more money, or the SEC. I don't know. Do you think the SEC would have more value? Because they're only ESPN at this point.
Pretty much.
And because CBS is not involved anymore.
Right.
And ESPN is not shilling out any more money.
Nope. They're going broke.
So, say Florida State.
Or Clemson. Does that add much?
They're not going to pay more money to those schools. So maybe it's not like because if you see the breakdown of the different conferences and the teams, right now Big Ten's $10 million more, or $15 ahead of what the SEC schools are about to make. but if you add in more teams, you're taking away that revenue. But if the SEC feels like they got to add more, then they're going to be losing. They're going to be losing their share as well.
The CBS Sports asked the Big Ten for a comment. This is what they got back. The Big Ten Conference is still focused on the integration of USC and UCLA, but it's also the commissioner's job to keep the conference chancellors and presidents informed about new developments as they occur. So what's really happened is the Pac-12 can't get a media deal. They may have something with Apple TV, but it's peanuts. It's not very much money. So that league is kind of falling apart. And so what's happening, I think, is the Big Ten, the Big 12 are going, well, let's go get a couple more. Let's take the best of their bunch. And I think it's easy to say Oregon, particularly Oregon and Washington, are the best of the leftovers out in that league.
Here's my thing. Can we bring in 2 more and kick out a couple?
I'd vote for that.
That's what I vote for. I mean, if we're going to add a couple, can we just lose a couple of them? You know?
I would be for that. Where the Big 12 is kind of focused in on the 2 Arizonas and Utah. They've already got Colorado, and that makes some sense for them. So it sounds like the Pac-12 is getting divvied up by people moving forward, and the Big Ten may get in there and scoop up. I'm kind of with you. Why divvy up the pie more? The pie's not getting bigger. You're just cutting down how big my slice is of the pie. And if I'm Ted Carter, and I'm not, and he's certainly going to think for himself, but I'm not sure how I would vote on something like this. I might say, I think we're perfectly fine where we are at 16. Let's stay right here.
I just don't know, you know, in terms of a brand, and maybe Oregon a little bit, but even if you look at, because it's about the TV markets and about the money, and I'm not all about money, but and would you like to maybe add, if you're talking about maybe adding a couple more teams for the West, for UCLA and USC to be able to match up with, or, you know, to make that road swing, maybe you could add a couple more, but what value are you adding? I'm sorry, I know that Stanford wins they win the Directors Cup. Most of it is because they have so many dang teams.
Right. Swimming,
and
they dominate that.
I think they have a lot of sports probably that the Big Ten doesn't even have, right?
Yeah.
Or a few.
They have like 36 varsity sports or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they rack up a lot of points. They just have so many teams nobody can keep up. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I know Stanford matches the academic standards of the Big Ten. Do. Oregon kind of has the national brand, but I don't know. Why force it? Why force it,
I agree.
guess?
That's a great point about Stanford. Stanford and Cal are really prestigious academic schools, and I could see some of the presidents in this league going, that's what we want, because a lot of presidents, you know, their job is really to run the campus, so academics is really big, and I could see some, and I'm not saying, I don't know where Nebraska falls in on this, but some schools going, we want the academic schools. We don't care about the athletic part of it. We want the academic prestige of a Stanford.
Why? What does that add in your terms of athletics?
It doesn't. It adds to your library system. It helps your academic, I think, prestige of your conference. But again, that doesn't add dollars to the kitty. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about athletics. True.
What is good? What is Cal good at?
Hard to pick something, isn't it? They just really aren't.
I can't tell you. I don't know. I mean,
either. They're not very good in the ball bat sports. Their basketball teams have been horrible. Football has not been very good, so no, they're not very good. Art in L.A. says, I welcome all teams from California to the Big Ten. That would be more Husker games out here for all of us fans in the state. I get that, and we do have a lot of fans out there, but again, I just don't see why you want to divvy the pie up even more.
Stanford's crowds are terrible.
Terrible.
I mean, it's crazy because there was so Barry Sanders Jr. was a son of Barry Sanders, went out to Stanford, and he's from Oklahoma, and he was just telling us, because he was out there, I think he was right there when Christian McCaffrey was there. Christian McCaffrey won the Heisman, right? Or
yep,
was,
he did. Well,
yeah. No, he
did not win it.
He was a Heisman finalist,
yes.
Sorry. He was the best running back in the country that year. I believe that quarterback won it that year. Again, my memory. But he
did not win.
He was leading the nation in basically almost every rushing statistic. And he's walking around there and nobody even bothers him. Nobody talks to him because they're full of Nobel Prize peace winners and all these academic national merit scholars. It's just not a sports school. And so you could be one of the best athletes in the country and nobody knows who you are on the Stanford campus. It's wild.
That's right.
So even like a guy like Christian McCaffrey was walking around campus and nobody really even bothered him, talked to him. But if he was at any other school in the country, almost.
Is Katie Ledecky the great swimmer at Stanford? I think she might be.
Yeah.
Michelle Wee, the golfer, was Stanford. Tiger Woods went to Stanford. I mean, their roll call of great athletes is unbelievable, but it's spread across so many sports that they're, because like you said, they're good in a lot of the country club sports and some of those things. But
yeah, Katie Ledecky was Stanford, and she's like the winningest
swimmer of all time.
Yeah.
I think she's still competing. She'll be in
She'll
be in the Summer Games next year in Paris. Sam in Omaha wins the Big Ten Blitz start week of the first Husker football game. We'll get back into our Blitz reports. Looking forward to hearing from our contributors around the conference. So
and picks.
Picks aren't too far away.
See if you can.
Here's what we now have a handful of UNL students that are helping us out. I think we let one of them pick each week. So we have a category, student category. I don't know that I want to let all 4 or 5 of them pick. What do you think, Cole? Just let one of them?
You scared of the competition?
That would make our segment too long.
Yes.
I'm down for that.
Also, sometimes you have to, like, we were texting Molly.
Oh, yeah.
She's given us our picks right as we were rolling the segment, so.
Yeah. And it's true. Brian in Bellevue did say Stanford did make the College World Series, and they made the Women's College World Series, too. So they were both Oklahoma City and Omaha.
Stanford has some good programs. Their women's basketball team is really
Pretty good.
I'm
Vandenbosch.
talking about Cal.
Yeah, where is Cal?
Stanford wins the Director's Cup because of how many programs they have, but they do have some good programs. Yeah. Just because you have a bunch of programs doesn't give you the points. You have to perform well, but they have a lot of teams that rack up points is where they are separated. But they do have some teams that absolutely could compete and contribute. TV market wise, I don't know what Stanford adds there.
They're in San Francisco. It's a big TV market, but do they draw eyeballs? I don't know. Does Stanford and Cal, because they both are in that market, do they draw much from the San Francisco market? I don't know. But again, I can see where some Big Ten leaders would go, I love the prestige of those two academic schools.
Stanford fits to me more than Cal.
Agreed.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm not dissing Stanford by any means. I was saying that it is more of kind of an academic school, but they fit to me more. They do have some good athletic programs and then the academic standard, whereas Cal is just the academic standard.
This would fit in well on the Stanford or Cal campuses. Honk if you love trucks and bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back, and you could win one of 8 beautiful new blue trucks. Visit any Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Discover your next Ford with Woodhouse. The truck you've always wanted to the SUV you need, Woodhouse has the full lineup. Plus a huge selection guarantees you'll get the features that matter and at a smart price. Like our current offer on a new Ford F-150. Or needing the versatility of an SUV to take on the everyday. Shop our offers going on now. Find your Ford with Woodhouse online or at one of our 3 convenient locations.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend. Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Jeff Brandt in Hastings or Callie Schilke in Imperial today.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, the number to be a part of the program tonight. We were talking about Stanford, Cal. Andy brings up a good point in the chat room. Cal's got a beautiful stadium. Huskers played out there. Eric Crouch played on a team that played out there in the late 90s. It's a beautiful stadium, and it's a really pretty campus. They do have that going for them. I don't like Stanford Stadium very much, but Cal does have a pretty football stadium.
Do fans go to Cal games?
Not very many.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a little bit of Kansas. You know, Kansas is a really picturesque stadium with the hill.
Their whole campus is beautiful.
Really pretty. The stadium's not very much, though, and it's kind of, there's a lot of space between the stands, but the setting of the stadium's pretty. Cal kind of reminds me of that a little bit, too.
Have you been to Kansas since they've added, like, the end zone party zones?
A little bit. It's better, but that stadium is the same age as this one. How about that?
Wow.
Both opened in 1923.
100 years.
I'd take this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much any time. All right, I'm out of here for the next 10 days or so. You gonna be okay? You gonna be all right?
I think
Cole,
we'll be all
gonna
right. We got plenty of content, obviously. We'll have some football interviews and practice reports and some fun things coming up. I believe there's a Kicking Back with the Cooks.
There's a rumor they're taping their next podcast tomorrow.
Yep. So, and Soccer Stars. There's lots going on. You going to go fishing? People were wondering if fishing,
got
golfing.
a pretty big itinerary. We've seen a lot of things. I'm going to go to Montreal, start in Montreal, head to Quebec, and I'm going to ride a train overnight one night. I mean, it's going to be cool. I'll send pics. I might even call it. I'm really sad that I'm going to miss the bad joke segment tomorrow night.
The bad joke. You have missed a lot of those. And
I know.
It's almost the nights that you're gone are the nights that Cole really brings it and it's a hit. I challenged him last week. I said, Greg might take this segment away. You better bring it. And he brought it. And people are asking, please don't take the bad joke segment away.
It's gotten a 6-month reprieve, so he's good for 6 months. So that's a lot of bad jokes that he can throw our way.
We got a sponsor on the line for it, I think.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We'll have fun the next 10 days or so. I can't wait to hear from Marcus Satterfield tomorrow. I love hearing this coordinators talk during camp.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll learn a lot, how things are going so far.
Folks, buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Y'all be good.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. Engineering professor Ronald Faller has been named a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest professional honor among academic inventors. As director of UNL's Midwest Roadside Safety Facility, Faller has played a key role in developing innovative roadside safety technologies that are used around the world. Faller has earned 8 U.S. patents and 3 foreign patents over his 35-year career.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $2,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
There's a new kind of season ticket when you fly from the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of the Huskers. Now at LNK, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFly